I'm Eileen Holman. Here I am in the indigo patch, and I began this journey in 2005 after taking a workshop with Rowland Ricketts on using the fresh leaves in ice water blender bath. I was told at that time that it only worked on silk, and I've been working in cotton for 30 some odd years. I spin it, I weave it, I dye it with natural dyes, and so that sparked my curiosity on how to get the fresh leaf non-vat techniques working on cotton. I believe that he also told me at that time that you could get the pink indirubin from the fresh leaves. I think that's where I heard it, and also I wanted to get that on cotton. So in this journey, I've learned a whole lot of things that I hadn't really thought about before I started. And I've learned that there are really two color sources in the leaf. Indican, as the precursor with beta-glucosidase, gives the indoxyl that will either go to indigo blue or indirubin pink. There's also indigo yellow, and you don't find very much information on indigo yellow. You see it mentioned here and there in some of the literature. The source is kaempferol, and if you consider that you have now the pink, the blue, and the yellow, you can get actually more than 6 colors, but let's just start with 6 colors from these 3 primaries. You get the blue from the indigo, the pink from the indirubin, the yellow from kaempferol, and then if you blend just 2 of those, you get the green from the indigo plus the kaempferol, so blue plus yellow is green, and you get purple from the blue plus the pink, and then you can get an orange from the pink plus the yellow. So I call the bath ice blue, where you just put the leaves in a blender bath with some ice water. And depending on how many leaves you use and what size piece you're dyeing, you can get anywhere from a turquoise to a robin's egg blue on silk. This does not work on cotton. It's an acid bath, but shifting the pH to alkaline, you can get the light blue on cotton. You can also get some simple greens. If you put mordanted silk in the ice blue bath, you can get a teal. If you allow it to soak overnight with thyme or with heating, you can get a spring green, a real pretty spring green. Now, if you heat the ice blue bath, you can push the reaction to indirubin instead of blue. Depending on what alkaline substance you use, you can also use a pH push to get the reaction to go to indirubin. And Ushida did some work quite a while back that an alcohol bath with alkaline treated silk, you can also get indirubin. Now this is a piece of cotton down here, so remember I was trying to get these on cotton, and so it was this alkaline push that I was able to get the indirubin on the cotton. Okay, now let's go to the indigo yellow, and the kaempferol is the colorant here. So nobody says why you need ice water to get this robin's egg blue on silk, and I figure that it's because the yellow uptake is slowed to a crawl with ice water. So there is some uptake on unmordanted silk, and it'll wash out. But if you mordant the silk, then the uptake is going to occur naturally over time as your cold bath warms up to room temperature. So you can use this knowledge with mordanted cellulose or protein to get green. Or you can heat it up if you're looking for green. You can heat your bath up and put in your mordanted fiber to get green and yellow. So the yellow dye, it's just there. You can partially remove it from your ice blue bath by putting a mordanted cotton in the bath to take it up. However, the cotton picks up, I don't know what. It comes out a kind of a murky green, and you have to rinse it forever to get the yellow to show up. And then it looks more chartreuse than clear yellow until it dries, and then it's a yellow. You can also make a lake, and you can do this anytime. You can do this immediately after you blend your bath. You can pull the yellow out, so it's just essentially segmenting these colors. And then you can regain your yellow by splitting the lake. So you're going to use a mordanted protein fiber. Most lake dyeing instructions don't tell you to mordant your fiber, but I've found that if you mordant your silk especially, you get a really pretty clear yellow. This bath is a hot acid, which is very harmful to cellulose, so you do not want to use a split lake on a cellulose fiber. You can get yellow from the leaves. You can dry your fresh leaves, and then you can put your leaves in water, heat for 20 minutes and strain. And you can use this also with the mordanted fiber to get the yellow. If you're air drying your leaves, you can then reuse your leaves in a blue vat. Now, John Marshall tells you if you've got dry leaves, to make 2 baths essentially, to heat up your leaves and throw away the first water, and then heat your leaves up again and make your vat. That water that he throws away is the water that contains the yellow. So now I'm going to go into single batch colors here, where I call a batch one bunch of harvested leaves. And so I'm going to make a blue batch, and from that I'm going to get blue, teal, green, and yellow on silk, plus the yellow on cotton. And then separately I'm going to do a purple batch, and I can get lavender to orange and yellow on the silk, plus that yellow on cotton. So I can get 5 pieces, 5 different colors from my blue batch. And I'm going to have 1 mordanted cotton, 1 unmordanted silk, and 3 mordanted silk pieces ready to go into this bath. And I'm going to make the ice water bath. I'm going to put in the mordanted cotton, 1 unmordanted silk, and 2 mordanted silk. And I'm going to leave 1 mordanted silk aside. So in this picture, this over here is the yellow cotton. This is the blue, robin's egg blue. This is the teal. This is the green. And this is the yellow silk. So these 4 pieces here are the silk, and this is the cotton over here. So blend the leaves, enter your mordanted cotton, and you can leave this cotton in throughout the rest of it. I wait 30 minutes and then I enter my silk into this ice blue bath. So I'm putting in 1 unmordanted silk for the blue, and then 2 of the mordanted silks for teal and green. Okay, at the end of 30 minutes, I'm going to remove the blue and 1 of the teal silks, and those are now finished. So I'm removing these 2 pieces after the first 30 minutes. Okay, now if I want the green, I want to either let it sit overnight and allow that just coming up to room temperature, allow it to, over time, pick up the yellow to give the green. Or I can heat the bath up to about 100 degrees and just to speed it up. Okay, so after that, I'm going to take this green piece out, and now I'm going to heat the bath up to 140. And at that point, I believe, I mean, I'm not sure, I'm not a chemist, and I don't have the ability to measure these with sophisticated equipment, but I believe that the enzyme is destroyed and the bath is unable to make the blue anymore. So now I heat it up to 140 and I can put that last mordanted silk in and just pick up the yellow. Now let's move to the purple batch. I use a pH modification after the 30 minutes to bring the pH up to 10, and then it'll give me this pretty lavender on silk. I can also separate the yellow out by making a lake and then split the lake to get yellow to gold on silk. And so here you have the lavender and the split lake yellow. Or I can take this purple batch and I can do the pH mod. I got peach instead of a real orange. This is cotton. And let's see, these are silk up here. So I got the lavender, the peach, and then a gold and a yellow. So we have good news and bad news from all of this. The good news is that all three colors are wash fast, and the indigo and the indirubin are light fast, but the bad news is that kaempferol is not light fast. And so here it is, the original 0, 1, and 3 are the number of weeks that I had it exposed to the sun. So after a week, you can see the color is really pale, and after 3 weeks it's gone. So you're just not going to wear these to the beach, I guess. So going back to my interest in cotton, these are the colors that I've gotten on cotton. So here's the, I went from blue to the purples to the lavender here, and then here's the yellow. So the salient points in all of this are that the blender bath is acidic, so acid dyes work really well on protein, but not very well on cellulose. pH adjustment allows the use on cellulose. Now let's talk about mordanting. Indigo and indirubin don't require a mordant, so basically they react on the fiber independent of whether it's mordanted or not. The yellow, however, requires a mordant. So it can be precipitated in a lake for protein fibers, or it can be increased on cellulose and protein with increasing time or temperature. And I think that's all I have, and I hope you play with it a little bit. The green, I'm not a green person, but this green to me is just, it can be really spectacular. And depending on how hot you heat your bath, I don't like to go very hot with the yellow, but if you take your yellow to a higher temperature, you can actually get some khaki colors, which I have gotten before. So this is something that I haven't seen anywhere else, and maybe it will be of interest to you and maybe not, but it's just a little larger, it expands the picture just a little bit more. Thank you.